here. I just want to say that I've had the honor to get to know Randy, and he is one of the very few genuine freedom-fighting politicians that is not part of the sludge and the slime that has taken us to where we are today. Come on up, Randy. Well, good afternoon, Waterloo. And good afternoon, freedom in Waterloo. You know, but I would have to say, you know, I always thought Waterloo was a pretty peaceful, law-abiding organization, city. But every time I come here to Waterloo, there's always cops over in the other building watching over us. And I wonder, why the hell are there always cops looking over into town square here in Waterloo? So let's turn around, give them a big wave. There's no criminals here. The criminals are back somewhere else, and that's where you should be looking. Because what we're doing, what Justin Trudeau is doing, what Doug Ford is doing to our province and our country, what they're doing with this mandatory vax pass at the border. They know they are intentionally shorting the food supply in our country. They're intentionally making the shelves in our grocery stores empty. They all know that this time of year, all our fresh fruit, produce, and much of our protein comes from south of the border. And they're blocking it off. They're shorting it up. Justin Trudeau is a terrorist, and Doug Ford is his accomplice. So, Waterloo Police, you want to go look for a terrorist? We know where they are. One's in Etobicoke, and one's at his cottage just outside of Ottawa.
Well, arrest them! Turn this swamp, Randy.
But people are standing up. People are fighting back. This year, this has been a long battle. For 2 years now, we've been fighting for our freedom. And I'm going to say to you, in 2022, we win this battle for freedom in Canada. This is the year we regain our freedom. Next week in Ottawa, we're seeing thousands of truckers who have told Trudeau what they can do with the vax pass. Okay? They'll be in Ottawa. We'll be there in Ottawa with them, showing our support, knowing we're going to win this, and we're going to win it this year. So listen, I wanted to talk a little bit about this great struggle that we're in, this great fight. And we all know this. For 2 years now, this is not just incompetence, although there are lots of incompetence in Ottawa and Toronto. But we're in a great struggle and war for our freedom and against the enemies of freedom. But you know, in Canada today is much different than when I was a young boy. These days, we often hear Canadians describing themselves as being nice, as being polite, and always saying sorry, even when there's nothing to be sorry about. It's as if Canadians today have only one defining characteristic, and we see ourselves through that lens of being docile and passive and deferential. And I'm not opposed to people being polite, not opposed to people being nice. But if that's our only defining characteristic, let's not be surprised that we'll become passive, we'll become docile, and that we'll be easily bossed around, easily bullied, and unable to fight back. I'll tell you, that's not me and it's not you. It's not our Canada. And it certainly doesn't describe the Canada of my youth. Let me say you, when I was a young boy, we all have heroes. And one of my heroes, you know, heroes are people that you look up to, people who you see their characteristics in you, and they embody the characteristics that you want to emulate. And one of my heroes, one of the heroes for many young boys in Canada, was a guy named George Chavallo. Anybody remember George Chavallo? For those who don't know George Chavallo, he was the 5-time heavyweight champion of Canada. 5 times. He fought for the world championship against the best the world has ever put out. Muhammad Ali, Joe Frazier, George Foreman. 93 bouts. He never got knocked down, and he never got knocked out. Never. 93 times. Muhammad Ali said after the fight at Maple Leaf Gardens, he said, that George Chavallo, he's the toughest fighter I've ever fought. The toughest man I've ever fought. He embodied the Canada of my youth. And now George is a nice, polite guy. But don't make any mistake. He's a scrapper and he's a fighter. And he is what Canada is. That's what we need to do today. Be like George Chavallo. Be scrappers. Be fighters. Go the distance. Never get knocked out. Never get knocked down. We'll go whatever the distance is. And that's how we're going to regain our freedom. But I'll say, we are in a war for our freedom. And there's a term that we often hear in every war, and it's called the fog of war. And the fog of war describes the chaos and the confusion, the smoke, the noise, the distractions that prevents you from seeing where your enemy is and who your enemy is. We've been in the fog of war. But we need to be alert, we need to be awake, and we need to see who the enemies of freedom are. And I've seen them for 2 years now. And let's call them out. Our government, Justin Trudeau, Doug Ford, are enemies of freedom. Any government who brings in laws that restrict our freedom are enemies of freedom. Our public health authorities, you know, those people who drive the narrative of fear, of danger, of terror, they are enemies of freedom.
Criminal. Defund the CDC.
They're the ones that we can easily see. But there's also the media. The media who censor and suppress honesty and facts are enemies of freedom. But there's also the collaborators. Those who collaborate with those enemies. It's the shopkeeper. The shopkeeper who demands that you wear a mask. And if you're smiling and have your face showing, refuses you service. That shopkeeper is an enemy of freedom. That restaurant or business that won't serve you or let you in unless you've got your vax passport are an enemy of freedom. Your boss, your job, your employer, your labor union, who demands you inject some unknown substance into you to have your job and get collect a paycheck, they are enemies of freedom. The doctor who won't fill out a medical exemption because they're fearful. Or the teacher who puts a mask on your child. They are enemies of freedom. And then there's the profiteers. There's many of them. Big Pharma, Pfizer, Moderna, Big Tech, those who are profiting from fear are enemies of freedom. Lock them up, that's right.
Lock them up!
Lock them up! Lock them up! Lock them up! Lock them up! Lock them up!
Lock them up! Lock them up! Lock them up! Lock them up!
So, but there's others. And there's others who sow dissension and division within our movement of freedom. And I call them the grifters of freedom. The grifters who want to take their own fame and gain over and above freedom. Be careful of those grifters of freedom as well. They're enemies of freedom. And let me say to you, those are enemies. They're not our friends, no matter what they pose as. And if we want to regain our freedom, and we will do it this year, we have to be like that young fella named George. We need to go the distance. We need to get into the ring. No matter what the distance is, no matter how many rounds we got to go. We're not going to get knocked out. We're not going to get knocked down. We're going to fight for our faith, our freedom, our families, and we will win against the enemies of freedom. You know, for a year and a half now, we've been trying to build unity. We started the End of Lockdown Caucus. Brought in elected representatives from municipal, provincial, federal, to get together, to fight together, to regain our freedom. Our freedom and your freedom is more important than our political gain. Right? The End of Lockdown Caucus, I was very fortunate that a few people came in with me. And it grew, and it grew. We tried to build unity with that End of Lockdown Caucus. And I'm still doing it. Over the last couple months, I've had many conversations. I've extended the offer to keep building for unity. But I'll tell you, there's one man that joined me at the End of Lockdown Caucus. There's one man who joined me, and we joined together in the last federal election to put aside any partisan differences and to fight for unity. That man is Maxime Bernier. He's here with us today. Maxine and I and many others are going to keep fighting. And you know, Max is going to go the distance, and he's not going to get knocked out or knocked down as well. He's going to be there this year when we get our freedom back in this country. Thank you.
Thank you, Randy, a real freedom fighter. Randy Lord.
We love Randy!
Hello, everybody. I will be short. It's a cold day, but it's a nice day. Like Randy said, after 2 years, what we are doing right now, it is not a sprint, it is a marathon, and we are winning. We are winning.
We're in this one!
We are winning because I believe it is the time to fact check what these establishment politicians told us in the beginning of that pandemic. And you know, it was all lies. 2 weeks to flatten the curve,
2 years.
it was a lie.
Liars.
When they told us when 75% of the population will be vaccinated, we will gain back our freedoms. That was another lie.
Liars.
They told us, you know, if you have 2 shots, that will be it. You have a very good protection for a long time. And now they're pushing the 4th shots and the 5th one. That must end. That must end. That doesn't work. So now I believe that more and more people understand that they were lying to us, that they manipulated the numbers. They did everything to promote the fear, their propaganda, the censorship. That was not our country the last 2 years, and we want to be in Canada in a free country, and we are saying no, no, and no. Yes, enough is enough, and I can tell you that now more people understand, and they're coming on our side, and they know that our only goal is to unite every Canadian under the freedom umbrella. Yes, and this week that will be a tough week for us Canadians. But we know that these truckers, they're doing what they're doing right now. They're doing everything to be sure that these despots in Ottawa and in every province understand that we must do like they're doing right now in England and in other countries. They have back their freedom. We need our freedom back. Freedom! Freedom! Freedom!
Freedom! Freedom! Freedom! Freedom! Freedom!
And that's why I will be with you and with our truckers in Ottawa next weekend. And we will be on the hill, and the message is very clear. We want, and we said that. I said that during the last electoral campaign, and as you know, we were the only national political party that was always with you and for our way of life, our freedoms, and we will be very in Ottawa and very clear. Our message will be very clear. And all these mandates, no more 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 mandates,
No more mandates!
and I know we are winning that battle, because now, like always, the history told us that truth will always win. And what we are saying, we are just saying and speaking the truth based on facts and on science. We will win that battle together. Let's be strong and free again. Thank you. Max will hold the back pass. Max will hold the back pass. Max will hold the